sheetrock, it does require greatest and tip to tip spread. We are a data set, right? And so we do keep track of those. It is important that they're taken correctly. It would unduly reward an overly wide deer if we added all three of those into the final tally. And so we only use the greatest inside spread. Tip to tip and greatest is still important. We want that in our data set when one's entered, but it does not factor into the score. So when you're doing your greatest inside spread, it must be taken from the center of the beam to the center of the beam. And this one's actually not a very good example because it's a little crooked, but it's got to be perpendicular to the axis of the skull. So this is the axis, right? So it's got to be straight across from the center of the beam to the center of the beam. You can't tilt it. It can't be, off center there. I'm actually going to use that book you brought in. I think it's a little better to demonstrate this.
So that one would be pretty far out potentially on the beam itself.
Yeah, it would. And the problem there is that one beam sits a little lower. And so what I would have to do is get a level and bring it up. So I was perpendicular right straight across, and that's version 2.
Yeah.
Tonight we're just looking at the center of the beam to the center of the beam.
Let's see advanced class.
Right. So I like this ruler that has a metal slide. This one's kind of sticky, but the same deal as we did with the circumferences. We can come in the middle and just work our way up and down here, trying to find the widest place between the center of the beam and the center of the beam, perpendicular to that axis that we're looking for.
Okay.
If your beams flare out, if they flare in, it doesn't matter. It's always the center to the center. Commonly, you'll see somebody, want to go, this one's a good example. They kind of come in. No, you don't have to take it up here. You can add a couple eighths there by coming to the center of the beam to the center of the beam.